Good evening. Welcome to the Woman to Woman show. My name is Margot Richmond. I'm the host tonight, and I have an exciting guest here. Her name is Naomi Davis, and me and Naomi is getting ready to have a wonderful time. Naomi, we're here alone, and we got some issues that we have to discuss about black women in business. The fall and the rise. The fall and the rise again. So we're going to have some hot topics that we need to cover tonight. And once again, welcome to the Woman to Woman show.
Hi, Margot.
Hi, Naomi. Girl, we got some things to talk about. I have a question for you.
Okay.
And the question is, I know that you've been an entrepreneur for quite some time. Your history is real rich. You know, I looked on the back of your card. It was kind of scary for me, you know. And you said you were...
It's scary for me, too.
You did all of this? Okay. Just at the top of this card, I just want you to run this down from where you were born down here to your family. Just give me a little brief information.
Born and raised in St. Albans, Queens. I was a public school kid, a private school kid, an HBCU kid, and a local John Marshall Law School graduate.
Okay.
I went to Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee, and I have just a little bit of a few years of practice of the law when I realized that it was not my calling. I promised myself in my 20s that I would only ever do work that I loved. And in point of fact, theater was my first love. I came up in the theater. Everything that you could do as a kid, I did. Singing, dancing, acting. I went to Dorothy Maynard's Harlem School of the Arts. I worked with the National Black Theater as a groupie. No official capacity, but Barbara Ann Teer is one of my absolute sheroes in life. Went to Fisk, majored in theater, came out, and years later worked for years at the League of Chicago Theaters. So the creative and the business side, just love it.
So the arts was calling you all along?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So did you go to law school because of your parents, or what was
you know something, that's the strangest thing, and I to this day have never been able to isolate the minute when I decided I was going. I was working as an assistant buyer at Bloomingdale's when I got out of college, and my first memory of that I had decided to go to law school was the merchandising vice president. His secretary called me and said, I think you left something on the copier. And she came and brought me my law school application.
Oh, my goodness.
And I thought, well, okay, the cat's out the bag now. I guess I might just as well keep on going. So my college sweetheart lived here in Chicago. And so I moved here to... That's how I got here to Chicago.
Chasing love.
Love, love, love. That's right.
Well, Naomi, we share a very close friend, and we need to talk about it because this is the month of Black History.
Oh, yes.
And we have a very dear friend. Her name is Attorney Arlene Johnson. And Arlene right now is going through a challenge right now, and she's got some medical challenges. But we're praying for her, and we're keeping her in a prayer because she was very instrumental in a lot of things that took place in the city of Chicago. And we wouldn't be able to sit here looking at each other without mentioning Arlene.
That's right. That's right. That was a woman who was as pretty as she was smart, as she was generous, as she was adventurous. And, you know, we are born and we live and we die. And the quality of the life that we live is that part that's up to us. And I tell you, Arlene had more determination. You know, we're talking about women, right?
Yeah.
She was, in a way, that quintessential woman when you think of it. I mean, she was sexy.
Yes.
She was roll up your sleeve and get it done. She had this maternal, you know, this maternal glow and drive. She took care of business. She handled business. You know, we wear a lot of hats as women. And it's part of our strength, and it's also part of our undoing.
Let's make this clear. Arlene is still alive at this moment.
Yes,
So,
she is.
We're talking about her. We want to just make sure that every breath that she breathes right now, that God is still in control of this whole situation.
That's right.
So we will be leaving here tonight, going where she is, to just say hello and give her a kiss and let her know that we're still rooting for her.
That's right.
Yeah. I want to talk about tonight, because Arlene was a fighter.
That she was.
And I need to talk about a story. We're talking about black women in business, but Arlene was also an entrepreneur. And she believed in supporting black businesses. And she wanted to make sure that everybody had their paperwork straight.
That's right.
Come on, sisters, you can do this, and let's get busy with all of this. I met her, and she was very supportive of me. You know, I was kind of moving a little slow, and she said, come on, you can't do business like that. We got to come on. You know, they watching us. Come on, girl, you know. But anyway, Naomi, the last business that I knew that Arlene was involved in was a spa that was at 55th and State Street.
That's right.
And Arlene came in, and girl, you know, she had enough black art to set up a whole museum of black art.
She had a gallery of art. She absolutely did.
She traveled to Africa. She traveled all over the place, and she just loved sharing business ideas with everybody and wanted everybody to be a part of it. So that spa was her dream, and she did get a chance to go in that spa and set it up the way she wanted. She had a big, huge statues everywhere from Ghana and various different travel places that she saw.
And not only that, but Arlene's great passion drove her to do so much research into the products. You know, because the work that I do at Blacks in Green is environmentally grounded. All right.
Talk about that.
Yeah. Well, we you know, we teach the 8 principles of Green Village Building, which is all about a whole system solution for the whole system problem common to black communities everywhere. And we ground our initiatives in the concept that we can produce increase in household wealth, household income, one home at a time through neighbor-owned businesses within walking distance. That's our Where is Your Village? We talk about walk to work, walk to shop, walk to learn, walk to play villages. The same kind of place my mother grew up in Minter City, Mississippi. The same kind of place I grew up in St. Albans, Queens, where the shoe repair, the pharmacy, the dry cleaner, the tax man, the photo gallery, the meat man, the produce, all of these neighbor-owned businesses within walking distance.
But surely you don't think that that's going to come back again?
Oh, absolutely it's coming back.
Okay.
It's coming back.
But with all of the technology that we have, those stores, can you really envision that, or do you envision the business to business in the community, or being able to walk, like you said, but to a different type of business than what we had 30, 40, 50 years ago?
Well, it's going to be different types of businesses. But what we are not sharing with people is that we're in a climate crisis. This means that greenhouse gas levels, which coagulate and they cause the planet, the atmosphere, to warm up, and this warming up is causing a melting down. It's causing a destabilization of climate in a way that we're seeing neighbor to neighbor as extreme weather, more often extreme weather events. Let me tell you something about what the insurance industry just did recently. They decided that they could not maintain their 13% profit and continue paying claims on roofs destroyed by hailstorms. So they are no longer going to pay the replacement cost of roofs. They're going to pay the difference between the value of the roof as it was at the time of the storm and whatever repair. So what we're saying is that there's extreme weather all around us. It's not on our radar screen necessarily. our leaders aren't telling us necessarily, but this extreme weather is exemplified by what happened in Katrina. And when we have Katrina-like incidences all around the globe, we're going to see a domino effect happening that makes our communities where we're living our little haven or our hell. So
that's why I was saying to you, and when you were mentioning that, and you went down through the butchers and the cleaners and the shoe shops and all the rest of that, that's why, and even with our children, when you begin to talk to them about that and they're looking at futuristic stuff that's going on, it's like, what are you talking about? Are you really trying to talk to me about that? I ain't trying to hear about what grandma and them did back there at the corner candy store. So let's talk to the children and the young adults that's there and the ones that's in college about the entrepreneurship and what will 20 years look like for us.
Well, let me tell you something. When we don't have our money circulating in our neighborhoods through neighbor-owned businesses, what we're doing is every transaction we have in our neighborhood sends our money on a one-way ticket out, never to return. It takes, as they say, two poor communities to support one middle-class neighborhood. That's like an urban myth, all right? If you deconstruct that, what you find is that we are colonized and waiting for the truck to come. And with the average taco...
Explain that.
That means that if we're not owning our land, owning our businesses, controlling the jobs associated with them, we are simply... We're simply consumers. Without being producers, we are colonized. And that means that we are vulnerable because the average taco ingredient is traveling 1,500 miles to your mouth. The price of fuel, the pollution associated with it, the price distortions that are coming from the manipulation and the commoditization of food. These are things that we are going to be the pawns of until we start growing our food just like Granny did. And Blacks in Green created the discipline or the distinction, Granny-nomics, the values that ruled our households and guided our transactions when small was plenty. Because guess what? If we're going to go into the future, we're going to have to go back to the past. We're going to have to live simpler lives. We're going to have to conserve. We're going to have to get down to basics. Can you take care of yourself? Are you self-reliant? And if not, what do you need to do to get self-reliant? And that's why we enshrine home economics. We say world peace through home economics, because while they made fun of Betty Crocker and Aunt Jemima, my grandmother, if you see her, a picture of her, I use her picture in my literature all over the place, never a more regal woman would you ever want to see. But she could roll up her sleeves and she could can in a boiling hot kitchen. She could churn butter. She could deliver calves and pigs alongside her husband.
So that means you know how to can food.
Girl, you call me out. I'm wanted in 12 states for plant murder, but I'll tell you what. I, too, and this is where we find, you got to take people where you find them. I'm serious.
But that's what I'm telling you. We need to, when you're teaching,
that's
and
right.
when you're talking to our youth and our young people, we need to they need to understand that. Because when they look at television, they're seeing $500,000, $2 million, $5 million homes, and they're looking at these huge staircases, and all around us, people are losing these homes and losing these houses all over, but it still doesn't stop them from staring and looking into the future and saying, that's where I want to be. You know? And if you didn't have that child that have traveled that way, you know, who never lived in a $500,000 house, let alone been in one, and they don't know the struggles behind those doors, you know.
Well, we are only going to be as good as the education that we provide for those kids coming up. And, you know, there is a movement that has emerged, for example, because it's not the only example, but in urban agriculture, whereby ordinary, average, everyday kids in school are learning about the miracle
Yes.
of growing food. And, you know, I mean, one of my good friends, Pat Abrams of the Renaissance Collaborative, she runs a 101-bed transitional shelter over in Bronzeville. And as part of that green economy work that she's also doing, she has a garden on the premises. And you know that these people, some of her residents have the nerve to say, I ain't doing none of that slavery stuff. And we understand why people feel that way. We understand the rage, the despair.
But isn't it a lot more simpler? Just go to the grocery store and pick it up. I mean, that's the mindset. Why am I going to dig in this dirt? And why? You know, I don't have time for that. The way the system is running right now, I'm running here, I'm running there, I'm all over the place. So I just go buy some greens from the store.
Yeah, well, you got to understand that the black community especially has epidemic health disparities, okay? And it's not, they didn't just pop out of nowhere. The stuff that we're putting in our mouth is the source of so much of our disease, okay? We're now fighting a fight against genetically modified foods. We don't know what the pesticides and the fertilizing that's done in this country by big ag is actually taking fossil fuel that's dug up, that's millions of years old, mixing it with a bunch of chemicals. I mean, we've come through what it means to eat big ag in America, and it includes eating DDT, it includes slave labor, it includes it's just a maze of broken infrastructures that are normal, but that are killing us. So if we're not going to start looking more closely at how we can be free of those toxicities, then if we're happy with our health disparities and the rates at which we're dying from heart disease, diabetes, asthma, blood, you know, then fine. That's it. Keep going to the store.
Okay, let's go back to a subject. We started out the conversation talking about the rise and the fall of business owners. And I have also been a business owner several times, and I know you have. I'm going to ask you the question. What keeps you coming back?
Remember when I said got out of law school, and in my early 20s I promised myself I'd only do work that I love? It's a road less traveled, but it is where the juice is. I felt called, or I was listening for my call for most of my adult life. There were agitations within me that I felt like I had to respond to. The great agitation being, I was born and raised in the age of Martin and Malcolm, okay? And then suddenly I was living in, you know, this time when we were not able to, we were spiraling down in front of my very eyes.
But you do realize that a lot of our young people have studied Malcolm, they studied Martin, and they feel that same thing. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to go spend $150,000 in
They
the
don't
university.
have to.
And they want to do entrepreneurship themselves. They feel that same passion.
They should.
On the inside. And so we should say to them, follow your dream, but take your time and know that both of them work together for the good. Education works well. Don't take out student loans if you don't have to. But the thing of it is, it begins from the beginning. And once again, we have a lot of black businesses that have gone out of business. And I'm here today to tell you all is don't stop dreaming. Go back, roll your sleeves up, go back in again, try it all over again. You may have to move from the community that you were in, and don't be afraid to change cities and states. It's time for us to get creative again.
Well, we have to look at, well, first of all, you're right about not giving up your dream. Understand also that it is a long game.
Yes.
And the other thing that you were alluding to, I think, was when we go out of business, we're usually burnt out, You know,
Yeah.
we experience typically the catch-22 of, well, I don't have the staff that I need.
Yes.
Okay, but I don't have the money to pay the staff. I can't.
And I need an office, and I need a building.
I can't get the loan to get the staff. I can't get the staff to get the loan. And you go round and round, and then you decide, okay, but I really got to do this thing, so damn it, I'm just going to throw down and go for it. And you throw your hat over the wall, and you go for it, and in 5 years or less, you're bombed out and bitter and broke, okay? But there is... And in Cook County, we have a tremendous number of black-owned businesses, but they're to a certain very small scale, and they are coming and going, and that's why in Blacks in Green, you know, we look at this fundamental. If we're saying, okay, the fundamental building block of a healthy community is a neighbor-owned business. Then what is it that we can do to accelerate the rate at which neighbor-owned businesses are created and the rate at which they're sustained? Right now, we're working in a initiative with the IIT Stewart School of Business to bring one of our ideas to market for how to do that. So we're looking at how within a walkable village there's a place that is going to quote-unquote incubate. It's not an incubator, but it is a business idea that we are committed on the ground in real time to bringing to market, because there are so many people who have a great idea and have one really great skill, maybe two, maybe 1.5 great skills, but the rest, you know, you can't be good at everything. And until we get a system in place whereby we can take that widget guru, or my aunt has a killer hot pickle recipe, or a pound cake recipe, and put an infrastructure underneath them that allows them to be in business. Until we do that, we are not going to be able to have the healthy neighborhoods that we need and deserve. And I'll tell you one other thing. When we talk about what kinds of businesses people should go into, and the young people wanting to be, you know, it's sexy, bling, or the things that we see on TV. We can make anything sexy. I mean, Madison Avenue has proven that. So what are we going to make sexy? We need to make sexy the things that, the skills that people need real time in their neighborhoods to survive. And that's what we're dedicated to.
Okay. There's another movement that I'm seeing, because there's a lot of people that are interested in becoming entrepreneurs. I was in Indiana earlier this morning, and I met with a couple of engineers, young sisters, and I'm here to just tell you, people are excited. So don't believe all of the hype that you hear. There's a lot of people with their pens. It has hit paper already, and it's coming up, and it's getting ready to come out. So we're going to get ready to close this show, but we're getting ready to tell the people before you go, tell the sisters and the brothers and the people that are out there in the community what you would say to them with just a few words and telling them to keep on fighting.
You have to take care of yourself. Help is not on the way. You are born sovereign with the greatest power that anybody could have, and that's freedom of choice. If you persist, if you just don't give up, if you see it, if you see with your eyes what you believe with your heart, you will absolutely get there.
Where do they go? Where do they go? They got this dream, this passion, it's on paper. Where do they go? They're afraid to show it to the next person because that next person can steal my idea. I don't want to show my idea. Where do they go?
Well, it depends on where they are in the process. If they want to invent something, we have a beautiful brother here in the Chicago area, Calvin Flowers, with the Chicago's first Black Inventors and Entrepreneurs organization. He's an honest man who's going to shepherd them through the process of bringing their idea, their invention to market. We have trusted we have trusted elders in our community that you can go to, and they can call Blacks in Green at 773-678-9541. And we have this network of people that we're committed to keeping in connection with people who want to come forward and do business.
Well, I want to thank you so very much. You know, the Woman to Woman show, I've had a lot of interesting guests on here, and we really celebrate the victory of people going into business for themselves. We support our community, we love our children, and we love the city of Chicago. But there's a lot of stuff going on, and we need to make sure that we wake up everybody that we come in contact with so that they can read the paper, listen to the news carefully, because there's a lot of moving and shaking going on that we're not aware of. There are some rules and guidelines that the police department have that the community is not aware of, that are laws that can be broken that we're not aware of. So I'm just hoping that those individuals that's listening to our show tonight, the Woman to Woman show, my name is Margot Richmond, and just get involved. Let's put these papers up and let's do some research with all of it, the Chicago Police Department, everything that's coming out of the mayor's office, the governor's office, that's going to help us, that's going to hinder us, that's going to cause us some issues. The Woman to Woman show is aired every Tuesday at 8 p.m., Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. on Channel 6 and out of Evanston. The website number is www.ectv.com. Click on Channel 6 online and watch for the Woman to Woman show. Once again, our phone number is 773-889-8237.
And may I say that
yes,
as we are taking our future into our own hands,
yes,
run for office.
okay.
You know, I'm running for committeeman of the 20th Ward. And it's because average, everyday folks like ourselves need to be out there taking our government back.
Get the grassroots. It's grassroots information. And the other part of it is that I want everybody to know that strong volunteers are needed throughout the community. So we need to really stay focused. We need to get involved. We need to have more block club organizations coming forth.
That's
we just
right.
need to help
That's right.
within our own community.
But that volunteerism that you're talking about
important.
is absolutely fundamental, because
yes,
we watch a lot of TV
yes,
when we have lots of nonprofit organizations in our neighborhood. You could spend 3 hours a week with one of them.
yes.
Pick your favorite one, whichever.
Well, I'm one that travels from nursing home to nursing home. I have family members, friends that are in nursing homes. I just love to go visit those. If you have loved ones that's in nursing homes as well, please just do not leave your loved ones in those nursing homes without going to check on them. Please call. If you can't make it, call. Talk to the staff nicely. We need more people going into the nursing homes to check on your family members, friends, or even just a stranger. Just comb a hair, rub an arm, just say something peaceful to them. Once again, you're here with the Woman to Woman show. My name is Margot Richmond again, and our phone number is 889-8237, and we'll show you how to help other people. And once again, Naomi Davis, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, Margot.
We've had a wonderful
fun.
time.
Yeah.
Thank you. All righty. So we're going to keep on.